Hello, space friends! I'm excited to say that the new Ahsoka Star Wars series just aired this week, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Say what you will about the Star Wars live-action series lately, but one thing is for sure, they are really good at bringing back old ships from Star Wars lore, and Star Wars Asohka is no exception. There are 6 distinctly important ships that are featured in Star Wars Asohka. I thought it would be fun to really geek out and give the backstory and analysis of each one. Now, as far as the plot and characters go, there will be no spoilers. However, for the ships you will see, you could definitely consider this video a spoiler. But if you are a Star Wars geek, like me, you'll be happy to know or recognize these ships as you watch the show. So let's begin. It looks to me like the New Republic is officially fielding their workhorse cruiser here. This is a pretty big ship, and the first one you will see as the show begins. The class of this ship is yet unknown. It is certainly nowhere near the size of a Star Destroyer. However, there is a brief shot of it next to the Mon Calamari flag cruiser Home 1, which is 1,300 meters, and this new cruiser looks to be about 2/3 that size, putting it at about 800 to 900 meters. So it's far bigger than a Nebulon B cruiser, and perhaps more massive than a Rendeli Star Drive Dreadnought. We can see on the surface what might be retractable weapons mounts all over the dorsal section of the hull. And we can distinctly see smaller turrets on the hull as well. And this ship definitely has a substantial hangar where something like an Ada Class shuttle can easily land, along with several X-Wings nearby. This is definitely a warship. But also, we get a great view of the bridge from the outside, and this shot of the bridge windows reminds me very much of the concept art for Return of the Jedi. This is an early concept for the Rebel cruisers, but this ship here is bulkier. The interior of the ship is white and clean. This echoes the interior of a Mon Calamari cruiser or even a Corellian Corvette. Now, its profile from a distance kind of resembles an MC-30-like Calamari cruiser, but it doesn't look like the ship has the random curvy lines of a Calamari ship at all. If I had to guess, I'd say this is a Corellian ship design. There's a shot here of a shipyard in orbit of Corellia, and you can see several of these ships there. So what is this thing? This is likely the New Republic's heavy workhorse cruiser. Not as extravagant and terrifying as a Star Destroyer, and without the problems of a Calamari cruiser. Calamari cruisers were originally built for deep space exploration, but they were modified into warships. With these cruisers, which seem to have some weapons and perhaps a couple of squadrons of fighters, you get a versatile ship that can be mass-produced to protect the New Republic during the peacetime. Number 2, we have the Ada Class shuttle. The same company that built the Lambda Class shuttles, Cygnus Spaceworks, built Ada Class shuttles during the Clone Wars era. They saw frequent use by the Jedi and other Old Republic officials, and it's also known as sort of an ambassador shuttle. Now, since this is a Clone Wars era ship, by the time of Ahsoka series, this thing could be 50 years old, and it certainly looks like it once saw better days. It's still a very capable ship though for a small group that is getting around the galaxy. It has a decent hyperdrive, 3 laser cannons, and carries handy things such as jump speeders. I'll let you guess who pilots the shuttle, villains or heroes. Next we have Ahsoka's own ship, the T6 Jedi shuttle. This Jedi vessel was used quite a bit by small teams of Jedi such as Master Padawan combinations. This ship is big enough for Ahsoka to call home, but like the Ada shuttle, it must be similarly old by now, but it looks like it's been well maintained. Normally these ships aren't armed at all, but Ahsoka no longer considers herself a Jedi, so I wouldn't be surprised if she added a few hidden weapons considering all she gets into. I certainly would have. Now, these ships are actually Verpin in design. The Verpins are an insectoid genius race of engineers, and are also known to have produced the hull design for the B-Wing starfighter. You'll notice the T6 has the same cockpit as the B-Wing, as well as the sort of gyroscopic wing action. And then we get Home 1. We get an appearance of the famous Mon Calamari flagship Home 1 first seen in the Battle of Endor, from which Admiral Akbar commanded the Rebel fleet. Sometimes games portray this ship as being comparable in size or even much bigger than an Imperial Star Destroyer, but at 1,300 meters being the official length, it's not quite that big. Home 1 is still an extremely formidable warship, and it's great to see this ship still in action. And then we see the Phantom, with Chopper in the droid slot. This ship first appears in Star Wars Rebels. Now, this isn't the original Phantom that fits snugly into the Ghost, but a replacement ship. Unlike the original Phantom, this new one, the Phantom II, is a modified Ada Class transport shuttle, and it has its own hyperdrive, 2 forward-mounted cannons, and 2 ventral aft cannons. Although it is classified as a shuttle, it acts a bit more like a starfighter. Now I want to talk about this tug. Now honestly, I love spaceships that are industrial in nature. Ships such as freighters, barges, transports, and tugs such as this one are really important for the function of the galactic industry and commerce. I really like this tug, which is carrying a very important piece of equipment. We do not know the ship class of this transport. Perhaps this ship is completely a new design or established in some lore somewhere. Say in the comments if you've seen this ship class somewhere. This is no ordinary tug. It has 2 rather formidable laser turrets that shoot aft. Whoever is operating this thing is not messing around. And finally, E-Wings! The E-Wings are back. E-Wings appeared quite a bit in Star Wars lore and gaming. E-Wings are a fighter that was meant to eventually replace the X-Wings, but suffered from a number of reliability issues. Even though it can outgun and outperform the X-Wings in most respects, they were first introduced in Legends during the Thrawn campaign, so their appearance here in Ahsoka, which leads up to the reintroduction of Grand Admiral Thrawn, is very appropriate. I honestly really love the no-nonsense look of the E-Wing fighters. I hope we get to see them in action, and hell, I might even make some in 3D myself. It doesn't look like it would be that difficult to do, and actually make them do something in 3D. Anyways, like I said, I really enjoyed Ahsoka, and I know some people who are not total Star Wars geeks will feel like they're missing some backstory, and they probably are, as a lot of the foundations of this show were established in the animated Star Wars Rebels series. However, I do not think this should dissuade you guys from watching it. I love the poise of Rosario Dawson as the cool and collected Ahsoka. So tell me in the comments if you enjoyed Ahsoka, if you're excited about these ships that appear in the show, and what your analysis and opinion of them is. Also, if you want to watch my videos ad-free or grab some 3D ship assets, you can support this channel at patreon.com/resurrected. The link will be in the description as well. Or you can check out some of my stuff on CG Trader if you want to 3D print a model or make your own 3D art with my ships. The CG Trader link is in the description as well. Until next time, space friends,